5 practical, unique, different reasons why you should consider CFA for yourself in 2024. Now, a lot of videos you will see where they talk about CFA being very well recognized, you get jobs in different companies, you get salaries, etc., etc., and boost your earning potential. But in this video, I want to talk about 5 different reasons. Hopefully, those reasons which everybody knows of, but they realize it later. So maybe these things can inspire you to study some qualification like CFA early on in life. If this is the first time you're visiting our channel, please click subscribe. We make a lot of videos on helping people take up a career decision in finance. And if you find value in this video, give us a thumbs up. Point number 1. CFA teaches you not only enough for your career, but you can use that completely for yourself, whether it is at a personal capacity or just for your family, or you want to start a venture by yourself, not anything to do with the field that you had come from. Let me explain. Most of the time, when you complete level 1 or level 2 or level 3, you start working in companies which have profiles of equity research, where you might get into investment banking, you might want to get into portfolio management, you might start in any of these profiles, you start the ground level and you work your way up, right? Credit rating, etc., etc. But beyond that, number 1, you can always use the learning in CFA to make personal financial decisions. CFA teaches you about how the practical world works and how you can help companies to grow their money, but you can use that at a personal capacity. When you start earning, what is the best way to invest? Most of us who want to invest but don't know how to, either people make no decision to invest or they give it to somebody. There's no harm in giving it to a financial planner. However, if you studied CFA and you are enjoying it and you like it and you're good at it, you can invest by yourself, make better returns, take higher risks, have no expenses that you would have otherwise paid to somebody. And at the end of 10, 20, 30 years, the wealth you generate can be significantly higher if you have taken this in the right steps for this. Similarly, if you want to start something of your own, I've had currently, surprisingly in this example, my friend who is now currently my financial planner, he was working in a similar capacity to that of a CFA, and then he left that job. He understood he likes personal finance, but he wants to do personal finance for other folks. He used all of his knowledge and helps others, invest their money in mutual funds, real estate. He does estate planning, which is if a grandfather passes away, what happens to his assets in his family, etc., etc. And currently he has hundreds of clients and he's doing extremely well. So you can land up, people get into teaching, people get into CFO role of a startup because they understand finance. So CFA can take you much more than just the initial job that you think about. Point number 2, structured way of thinking. I said this in my other video as well. One of the best things that CFA gets you to do is the rigorous practice of all the 3 levels and the constant attempt of solving exam sums, etc. forces you to start processing a lot of information, using all the techniques and the tools that they teach you to solve this and come with the best answer. There are certain things which have a right or wrong answer, and there are certain things which have a good or a bad answer. Doesn't mean it's the wrong answer. These exams train you to always go for the best answer. So when you have something that is structured, right? Many people say, why should I study, anything which is paid? Everything is available on YouTube for free. Yes, but if you're in the 1% people who doesn't need anything except for just you have that self-drive, please go for it. But 99% people require direction, require structure, and all of this is given, which forces you. And when you're forced to process issues well at the work level for sure, but even at a personal level, you can start thinking faster, better, make more honest decisions. I'm used to quantifying anything I have to think about to make a decision. And even if and sometimes I know that I'm biased towards something, but I'm aware and I then make the decision. And all this habit has come from studying these qualifications. Point number 3, exposure. Once you are done with CFA level 1, ideally you should start working. When you start working, you come across different people, different industries, different challenges. After you're done with 1, 2 levels, if you've seen any of my other videos, my very close friend Devanshi, she joined PwC with me as a graduate, realized that life is not taking her anywhere with only a graduation, picked up CFA, worked in PwC for a bit, went to a mid-sized firm, finished level 2, got some experience there, went to CRISIL after level 3, got a salary at a very high level. After that, currently she's working with Barclays, killing it. She's been in this field for the last 10 years now. And all of this, the kind of work, the kind of understanding of the world, the kind of clients, all of this comes from your experience of taking up CFA. Over and above, never underestimate the power of what happens to your brains when you're exposure-wise, when you're forced to study so many subjects with such in-depth specialization. You get to realize so much about the world. And a lot of it translates into what decisions you want to make as well. So it's not only about finance, although you're studying finance, but the principles, the exposure of how to think translates into a lot of good parts of your life. So exposure is another major point which you don't hear. You hear it in a very typical way, but I have understood that the exposure is not just expose yourself to a different world. There are many layers to it, and each layer is very, very rewarding. Point number 4, earn as you learn. Now, a lot of great institutions expect you in higher education to be full-time on their campus, right? Especially MBAs. Now, if you're talking about the top 20 MBA institutes, it's completely worth it because what you get after that is insane. However, beyond that, most MBA institutes are not always worth it. So you get locked in for 1 to 2 years. You spend money over there. If you go overseas and it's not in the top 20, you spend a bomb. I know many people obviously go there for partying and for just having a good life. But if you're talking from actually earning some experience or earning something to take back home, you don't get much. You mainly only spend. In a qualification like CFA, you're not bound. Literally, from the day you start studying CFA, even if you've not cleared level 1, you can start working. If you clear level 1, you get a decent opportunity. You study a level 2 with your work. It's difficult, but you do it. You pass level 2, you get a higher job. Same thing with level 3. You get experience along with giving exams, which means you're earning money while you're learning and passing exams. And while that is difficult, it does put you in the top 1% because not everybody is up for the challenge. Another huge USP of CFA. And point number 5, touching upon new topics. CFA is a very forward-thinking, relatively advanced qualification. They think about the most relevant topics in the field of finance. So currently, they've spoken so much about sustainability, and you guys should start hearing about these terms soon. Sustainability is the new norm. Everybody in the world wants to not just invest in companies which are doing profitable ventures, but they also want to invest in companies which are profitable and taking care of the environment, are sustainable, treating their employees and customers correctly. So under sustainability, it's called ESG, Environmental Social Governance. And like that, CFA has introduced, all the detailed topics of finance, which you don't cover in even something like a CA. You'll cover portfolio management, details of derivatives, and they've introduced these practical skill modules which help you learn a little bit of Python. They teach you a little bit of financial modeling. So you get to learn so much by the time you're done. And you've touched upon so many topics that after that, no matter where you go, either you've already touched upon some basic of whatever you're going to do in life, or you've understood enough that even if something new comes to you, you quickly figure out how to learn it at the earliest in the quickest format to make sure that you can grasp these new things, new learning, and add it to your already existing knowledge base, all coming from your ability to learn the CFA qualification. So I hope that these different perspectives gives you all a new appreciation for studying CFA. Let us know if there's anything else that we can do for you. Please post it in the comments.